for being here. We are so excited for a fun night of entrepreneurship. This is our third annual Charlie Walker Pitch Challenge, so we are super excited to be here tonight. Renee and I were just talking about this was her baby, and it's come really far, so thank you so much for being here tonight. We're super excited. My name is Jacqueline Crow, and I'm the Economic and Workforce Development Director at the Salina Area Chamber of Commerce. Now, that's a mouthful. And I want to give a huge shout out to the 11 businesses that are pitching their ideas tonight. They have worked very hard to get to this evening. They have created a 2 to 3 minute pitch video they've submitted. They have spent hours developing a full business plan. And if any of you in the room, some of the folks up here and around the room, know that creating a full business plan is difficult and takes a lot of time and hard work. So it is certainly not easy also to stand up here in front of a live audience and brag about yourself and brag about your business. So they really deserve a round of applause before we even get started. So. As most of you in the room know, entrepreneurs and small businesses truly are the backbone of our community. So to those of you competing tonight, we all are very grateful for your creative brains and all the good stuff that you bring to Salina and the hard work that you do. It is important and it matters, so thank you for all the stuff that you bring to our community. You'll get a chance to hear from some of the folks that started at the Charlie Walker Pitch Challenge, and they and their businesses are thriving in our community right now. So you'll see them around the room. If you haven't had an opportunity to stop by some of their booths, you will have some time at the end of their competition, so we encourage you to do that. Again, they are some businesses that started right here in this room or in a different room a couple years ago, and now their businesses are thriving in the community. So I also want to give a big shout out to them for being here. So let's give our Where Are They Now booths a round of applause. All right. Well, with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Mish and we'll get started.
All right. Thank you. And I need to start off with a correction, but I'm going to. This is the 4th annual pitch competition. So we've been at this 4 years now. So it's been exciting seeing it grow. The businesses that are here, we've added a little bit of difference from previous years. During the presentations, you're also going to hear from several, I think all of these, maybe not all, but many of them are going to come up and talk about where their business is now. What was the impact of the prize money, how they've gone from maybe working at home to being in a brick and mortar location, or maybe they're still working remotely via using a vehicle, going to different business opportunities. But please go and talk to these folks, learn about their businesses, what they're doing. They're not selling anything tonight. I'm sure they would love to sell you something down the road, but that's not the intent of why they're here tonight. They're just going to talk about how the program has helped them. So I want to start off by thanking 2 businesses in our community. Without these 2 businesses, we would not be here tonight. They have been supporters of the effort from day one. They are our 2 businesses that provide us our $16,000 that we give as prize money. So JRI Hospitality is the first one. You're going to meet their person who's serving as one of our judges tonight. But most people know Mocha's, they know Freddy's, they know the Country Club. Jason Ingermanson is into everything, and their business is into supporting many, many causes here in the community. If you look at what goes on, they, and then also our next sponsor, they both are very active in the community. And our second one is Bennington State Bank. Bennington State Bank, I can't really say enough about them, what they're doing. Their president is here as one of the judges. Tonight has been, I guess this is your third year, and they've been very active in supporting this effort, and we need to thank both of them. So let's give both those. as Jacqueline said, this is a partnership effort with the Salina Chamber of Commerce, our organization, Salina Community Economic Development Organization. I've got a couple board members here, a couple task board members here, so I want to thank them for coming. But also, obviously, K-State Salina has been a big player. We've got several folks here that have been very involved in the education of some of these contestants, as well as helping work through tonight. Kansas Wesleyan is another strong supporter. Startup Salina, Network Kansas, VentureDash, both of those groups help with some supporting, and that's the software that we use to do the judging. And then the Temple, the Innovation Center there at the Temple is another partner. So now it's time to turn it over to our star of the evening. Well, he's one star of many. Todd Welch has served as our MC every night that we've had this. He has some great stories about Charlie Walker. He personally worked with Charlie, as many of you all here in the community have done. He's a great guy, and that was why we chose to name this in his honor. So, Todd, if you want to get out here and get us started, let's go.
Perfect. Thanks, sir. Nice round of applause for Mitch, please. We'll make him feel like he's important this evening. Okay, so I may or may not go off script throughout the night. They give me this nice script. For those of you who may know me, may or may not. But before I start into the script, a couple things from my end that I want to say, give credit where credit is due, and how this all came about. Is a gentleman, a good friend of mine by the name of John Gunn, who's the judge there. So I do want to say, I use good friend lightly. He may not agree and say good friend as well. But John Gunn kind of had this thought, and I think he picked it up from somewhere. I won't put words in his mouth, but he had seen this done before where a community came together and they got money to support entrepreneurs. And he couldn't think of somebody who was more of an entrepreneur given their background of non-education and education, who came together and not only created amazing businesses, but was a philanthropist all the way through. And tonight, I'll talk to you a little bit about how I knew Charlie Walker throughout my life. And I met him when I was probably 19 years old, and I have some stories that I'll share with you that was pretty amazing throughout the evening of what he did. But first of all, we're in the room tonight with the thought that John Gunn wanted to recognize Charlie Walker. So please put your hands together for not only Charlie, but also John. I also want to say thank you to K-State. I look at the purple shirts, and you guys really help out these contestants behind the scenes doing everything. We appreciate the beautiful building. We almost burnt down Kansas Wesleyan, so I think they kicked us out when the participant tried to cook burgers in the auditorium and it caught fire. So I also want to say thank you to Kansas Wesleyan, but we almost burnt it down. So thank you for having us. You guys do an amazing job. So throughout tonight, we're going to talk to the people who we actually awarded the prizes to. It's fun. I walked in and I saw the refillery self-station. I'm like, man, this is becoming like a high school reunion for me. I keep seeing the same people show up with one. So anyway, without further ado, our judges this evening will also give up their time. Getting older, putting glasses on. You may or may not know them throughout the community. First one is Megan Brown with Operations Support Coordinator with JRI Hospitality. So thank you so much. Nice round of applause for her being here this evening. And again, she already talked about JR and everything they do in the community. She's a big role of operational support there. She does an amazing job. Darren Gray, President and CEO of Bennington State Bank. Welcome, Darren, back this third year. And I believe the first year, Trace Walker, which is Charlie's son, was one of the judges. And he couldn't pray. As a matter of fact, he stood up and he said, Blue Beacon would not exist without Bennington State Bank. And that's how important Bennington State Bank was to Charlie Walker. They gave him his first loan to, we'll talk about a company started called Powerback, and that's how he kind of got started. But the Berkeley family, another amazing family within our community, and Darren leads the role of Bennington State Bank. So for all your banking needs, you have a great idea, and you want to go borrow a couple $100,000, they give it out like checks down there. So you just want to go down there. You don't even need a financial statement. It's just like stated income of what you think you're going to make. Okay? And then they just write you a check. Okay? It's amazing. They're amazing. And I personally guarantee them. John Gunn, I just talked about him earlier, entrepreneur, philanthropist, as well as the brains behind the creation. I know John throughout the years that John owned a big company called Computerland, if you guys remember. That was here, and then he did all the fiber op. When Kansas Cellular was around, you worked with all of them, and so I got to know John. John didn't know me, I knew who John was because I was probably 20, and John only had like 400 or 500 million at that time, and I didn't have any, and so he would talk to me, and now he still should talk to me. Then I have Josh Telfason. Did I say that right yet? It's close. I said, would you just go let Josh do it tonight so I don't have to mess this up? Co-owner of the selfie station. He was the 4th place winner of the Charlie Walker Pitch Challenge back in 2023. Nice round of applause for his time tonight. And on his next 2 groups, you want to talk about grit, entrepreneurs. These sisters run On the Pod. And I don't know them real well, but I know what it takes to run a business downtown. And downtown wasn't what downtown is today. And you girls have ran an amazing business. If you've never been to On the Pot, you want to go down there. But Julie and Rob and Kate are with us tonight, and you guys are phenomenal. Not only business owners, but pillars and members of the community. And I appreciate you guys more than you know because you really are the people who stuck with downtown before it was downtown. And you really stood it out. So I want to acknowledge you guys for that. You can go to the mall if you guys stay downtown. You know what I mean? So I think that's cool. So anyway, thank you for that. I think I'm going off. I'm supposed to say what's going to happen. After each business pitch, we'll give the next business a few minutes to set up and then move on. New. So this is new, highlighted in yellow for me. New. As we transition, I think they did this because they're tired of my stories. And me talking in between, they're like, hey, why don't you talk less and we invite the people who want? And then they said that nicely to me. So we've invited the people who over the past 4 years have won, and then they get to come up and tell you their story of what they're doing. I'm actually pretty excited to hear what they've done with the money. And so we'll hear that tonight. Audience members are asked to remain quiet during the pitches. Please feel free to clap and cheer and yell before and after the pitch. At the end of the night, we'll tabulate all the scores, the announcements, the winners. While the scores are being tabulated, the audience members will be invited to visit our Where Are They Now booths at the back and the sides of the room. These are the participants eager to talk to you and tell you what they're doing in the business and the community. As a reminder, using the cash from Bennington State Bank and JRI Hospitality, first place winner will win $6,000. Second place will win $4,000. Third will win $3,000. Fourth prize will be $2,000. Fifth prize will be $1,000. All participants will be escorted down the hall to the green room. Is that now? We're supposed to do that. Where are the participants? Raise your hand real high if you're just a participant tonight. Good for you. Okay. Thanks for having applause for them. So now, if you are a participant, could you please stand up? Make your way down. It says the green hallway, but are you waving? Would you? Oh, there, follow her. I just thought you were excited to see me. I see you. All right, is there anything else before I got you going? Am I supposed to announce that? Sorry. Nope. Okay, that's it. Without further ado, we're going to start with a little bit of time. Is the first person in queue ready to go? Stacy Clark's going to be the first one, so is she coming around and there's Stacy there? Oh, Stacy. So this first up, Stacy Clark with 4 kids, some consignment. I didn't read it twice. I just thought she was bringing her 4 kids. It was like Stacy and her 4 kids. But It's actually the name of the business. How many of you, it's your first time being here? Sorry, I'm still with it. Have you been to more? Have you been to like all four of them? Have you been to all four? Kristen has, yeah. That's because John makes you come, huh? Yeah, I'm making you come in there. Just showing support. Okay, without further ado, we're going to introduce Stacy and with 4 Kids Consignment. And you are all wired up and you are ready to go.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for doing that. That's my going first, right? I am Stacy Clark. I am 4 Kids Consignment owner. The startup business, so I'm just starting out. Got this idea to start a business last month, so been learning a lot. Reason why my name came from 4 kids is my husband and I, we have 4 children together, combined, and as of January, we have 4 grandchildren. How many of you have children or grandchildren? How many of you have bought clothing for children? Lots of us, right? And how expensive children's clothing can be. Just earlier this month, I went to Old Navy, and one of these pairs of jeans I bought at Old Navy for $22. One of these pairs of jeans that I'm holding up, my granddaughter wore 2 years ago. They're both in excellent condition, still both wearable. Can't tell. Can you guys tell which one I bought new and which one is at least 2 years old? No. Well, I didn't know what to order. This is the one. It still has the tag attached, but I just taped it down so it wouldn't flop out and you would know. This is the pair I bought for $22. This was the pair that I had a few years ago. So we all know that raising children is expensive, especially in this economy. All right, you need cribs, high chairs, feeding, toys, of course. I'm glad we have a competitor that's having a toy store in town. I'm really looking forward to going to your toy store downtown because I enjoy shopping for my grandchildren. And diapers. And I was going to put this slide on here because you buy diapers and diapers and diapers and diapers. All right, so 4 Kids Consignment is a store that's dedicated to giving families a chance to buy some new and generally used clothing for newborns through the teenager and young adult population, as we have college-age students here in Kansas Wesleyan and here at K-State-Salina. Also, besides clothing and maternity wear for those that are just getting their family started, nursery items, beds, furniture, toys, books, and helping families save money while they are trying to get all the items that are necessary for raising their children or grandchildren. So why does Salina need a consignment shop? Consignment and resale sector is growing 9 times faster than the common retail sector. ThreadUp, this is from ThreadUp, resale report in 2024. 82% of shoppers now want savings. The other is looking for some eco-conscious, reusing and saving the environment, reusing clothing that is still viable and usable. Salina does not have a year-round consignment store in our town where people can get some cash back for their clothing. I've done a consignment sale with another competitor. She only has her consignment sales a couple weekends a year here in Salina. And I've shopped there last year, and in February, I actually participated with some of my grandchildren's clothing, including this pair of jeans. It did not sell there, but that's okay. I have it for a good prop for tonight. Again, I want to provide Salina the opportunity to have a retail space full-time where they could go and buy where, I don't know if any of you have gone down to Wichita. I have gone to Kid. I love that store for, and that's what they do. It's a buy outright. I can take my clothing I can get some money for it, then they sell it. That's the concept I want to provide. They only do children's clothing, but they also have stores like Uptown Cheapskate and Plato's Closet. Some of the bigger cities have 3 separate stores. I want to combine all of that in one. A little bit about our population. This is the 2020 census, so it's 5 years old. Right now, under 18, our population of under 18 is 28%. If you include the 1,900 approximately college-age students, that bumps it up to 32%. So about a third of our population is under 18 or young adults. All right. Primary market is expectant children. Secondary market is those eco-conscious consumers. All right. My model is going to be like the big stores to buy outright and then possibly doing 50-50 consignment right now. Without a retail space, I don't have that. So that's my dream, is to have a retail space. Right now it's in my basement and I'm getting started with online sales. I haven't started that yet, but that's the next step. That's the dream. Right now I'm a special education teacher and I'm going to continue doing that job. If I get the dream of having my own retail space, this is actually a picture of me in my classroom. I want to be able to have my, excuse me, my special ed students get that real world experience on retail, and then be able to do all the things that a retail market needs to have: the prepping, the displays, customer service, money management, and that kind of thing. And then they can use those skills after high school to go into any retail store and still transfer those skills. All right. My first event, I'm really excited, is I'm going to be participating this weekend at Central Mall's Spring Bazaar. And so I will have flyers. I'm looking for consigners to buy clothing from. I'm still working on my stock. This is a picture of my living room right now with my clothing that I have accrued. I have a basement full of winter clothing that I'm not prepping yet. Just due to the season, I have a variety of things available, and I'm going to have some toys. I couldn't, block my husband's TV though. So there's my information. Hopefully, eventually, I can put an address on there on the retail space. I have a business phone at the bottom and an email. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. If you stand right there at this time, the judges may have some questions for you, so you can answer those. So, for those of you who don't know the audience, what they've been doing throughout the whole process, they have to pay attention to the speaker, as well as there are questions they have to answer to. They have to rate 1 through 10 or 1 through 5 or whatever it is inside there. And then that's how they're going to tally up all the reports based on there. So this time we're going to open up for questions that they may have for you. You can answer those. So you guys have a couple of minutes for that. Derek, you have the mic in front of you. If you have a question, please raise your hand and we'll pass the mic down. They're kind of shy at first. This usually happens. And then at the end of the night, you can't shut John up. Okay?
Hi. Hi, Susie. Talk to me a little bit more about having your students work in the facility. How will that work? Is there a process by which that will happen through USD through 5? Like, tell me more.
I work at Opportunity now, which is a therapeutic-based role. All of our students are special ed students. I've already spoke with my principal about doing this. We already have a pizza business in our building, so we get that restaurant experience and that kitchen experience. This would give another avenue of a retail thing. Obviously, I can't do that out of my home. High school students or middle school students can also, we have both, can get high school credits. Can't pay them, but we can give them that high school credit, the career skills, and those types of things.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right. Oh, you have one?
Hello. Do you have a store location in mind if you do end up getting a store open?
I actually do because I'm very new to this. I've been an educator for 25, 27 years, something like that. And so this is all new. I tell my students we learn something every day. I think I overwhelmed myself last month learning all of this. But yeah, actually, because I had no idea what retail space went for. So I had to make some calls, talk to some brokers, and I see the Louis on Crawford, no, Broadway and Crawford. Yeah, okay. I see the Louis and Juice Pizza. There's McDonald's on the edge. There's kind of Dylan's as an anchor store in the middle of it. There's a retail space there with, can't remember, they changed the sign on me. It's the same person, Mike somebody.
Wilson.
Mike Wilson, okay. So that location there is about 12 to 1,300 a month. I'm on a teacher salary, so we all know that teachers don't get paid that much. So I'm really hoping to, when I'm here, I would apply for some business grants as well that I haven't heard back from. So this was really my first opportunity when I thought of the idea, I went into the chamber and I said, okay, how do I start this? And Jacqueline is a former teacher at a school that we used to both work at. And so that's how it just came about.
Okay, Stacey Clark, put your hands together again for 415 All right, this time the judges are going to be tallying up their reports. Again, and that will be waiting on the next person. A couple things I want to fill you in tonight about Charlie Walker, that you may or may not know. So, May 27th, 1932, Charlie Walker was born in Salina, Kansas, which is kind of a fun little fact there. The one that you may not know is, if you want to take a guess, what grade did Charlie Walker drop out of school? Little audience participation, what do you think? Not the fifth. There was a room that was there. It's actually the ninth grade. So the ninth grade, Charlie walked out there. I had heard the fifth grade as well before, but I talked to Charlie Tuttle, which is his grandson, on the way here, and he said it was the ninth grade that he dropped out there. So he dropped out of ninth grade and he moved to Colorado, which I didn't know that either. And so he filled me in as I was here. Moved to Colorado to work in the steel mills of Colorado, because once he dropped out, I'm sure his mom just gave him a get out of here. And so he had to go to Colorado and he worked in the steel mills. And when that didn't work out, he joined the Air Force. So nice military background he has there to join that. When he got out of the Air Force, he was back to Salina, Kansas, and he got a little truck. And it was a truck that he would fill up with candy bars, candy, and cigarettes. And he would drive around to the little gas stations and places like that, and he would fill the slots, which we still have today, like convenience stores. And he was the guy who would go around and fill the candy bars. And then he was kind of an entrepreneur guy, and he created a company called Power Pack, which is still in business today. And what he did was he created a vacuum system that was, the suction in it was amazing. And he built the vacuum cleaner, and then he would go out and he would sell that one unit. He would get enough money to come back and build another unit, and then he would go on the road and he would sell that unit. And that was a company called Power Pack. And while he was on the road, driving his truck, selling this commercial grade vacuum cleaner, he realized that there was no place to wash the truck that he was driving. There were these small little car washes, and there was no place to wash the truck. And so Charlie shared with me that his dad then started and developed a nozzle that was a high pressure nozzle. And he started the first one called Blue Beacon. And so that's where we came up with Blue Beacon truck wash inside there. And currently today, they have 115 truck washes. So imagine that going from the first truck washes there. He currently has 115 truck washes. They have 14 car washes. Locally, we know those as Green Lanterns. I mean, you guys remember the Green Lanterns that were in town, okay? So Green Lantern was originally the convenience store that they owned, as well as the washing place. Once Charlie passed away, the family got together and they changed all of the names from Green Lantern to, you know what it's called today? Charlie's. Yeah. So you go to Wichita, Kansas City, up in all those areas where they have 14 car washes now, and they're expanding, and they go by the brand now called Charlie's. They were real big in the hotel industry as well. At one point in time, they owned Raphael, which was in Kansas City, they stayed at. They have a couple others in Nebraska. They built the Country Inn Suites. Well, before that, the one that sits behind Tucson's is the Country Inn Suite, right? Maybe we did that. Had something to do with that. So the Country Inn Suites was originally owned and built by the Walker family, and they sold that off. And as we know today, the instrumental they are in this line downtown, but they built the Hollywood Suites that's downtown that we know today. So that's how they kind of started out in the hotel business and where they're at. So without further ado, you're not here to hear me talk, you're here to for the next participants. But some neat fun facts about Charlie Walker, and we'll hear some more things that he did throughout the community, and we can talk about his successes that he had. So up next is Brianna Redden with BHF Beauty Supply LLC. Did I say President Brennan or Renee? Renee. Yes. Renee, it's your floor.
All right, I'm ready. Hello everyone, my name is Renee Brennan. I go by Bree as well. And today I'm going to be presenting to you all my business, the BHF Beauty Supply. So just to get a little, information about me, I am originally from Long Beach, California. I came to Kansas on a soccer scholarship. I went to Bethany and graduated in 2022 with 2 bachelor's degrees in both business administration and finance. And then following graduation, I started working at the Credit Union of America as a financial service rep. I'm now the assistant branch manager of the Salina location. And then part-time I braid. So I've been providing braid services here in Salina for the past 4 years. I started on the north end in a barbershop, and then ended up in the mall barbershop, and now I'm in my own braid suite. I'm renting our office space. So since living and breeding in Salina, I have witnessed and experienced the struggles that people of my community and the textured hair community face when trying to find products and services catered towards our hair. I've also noticed that there's a lack of proper hair education and resources for people of my community. Excuse me. That is why BHF Beauty Supply's mission is to provide access to people seeking high-quality hair care products, beauty essentials, beauty services, and basic hair care knowledge. And the all-around vision is to be the main beauty supply store in the North Central region of Kansas. So the BHF Beauty Supply will offer products that you typically see in a regular beauty supply store. Hair, so braiding hair, crochet hair, similar to what I have installed in my head right now. Styling tools, men grooming products, accessories, and of course braid services will be in the back. Along with all the tangible items that I plan to have at my store, I also want to offer hair care classes and workshops for people in the community that are just needing basic hair care knowledge. Some of those would include like curly hair care 101. So I go over things like the different hair types and what products go for what hair types. I also want to do braid classes, so for aspiring braiders that kind of want to develop their expertise, I just want to give them a little bit of knowledge, maybe do a how to install box braids class and show them the products I use and how to part hair and all that type of stuff. I am located in the Craft Manor Shopping Plaza at 1825 South 9th Street. I've already signed a lease. Operating hours, I'm not open yet, but my operating hours I plan to have it open Monday through Friday 10 to 6 p.m. despite it saying 10 to 7 p.m. on there. Saturdays 10 to 7, and then Sundays closed. I have the whole interior painted pink. It was originally Yogi's Vape Shop, so it was that purple and green and black. I don't know what was going on there, but I got the whole thing turned around, and it is pink now. I've installed some gondola shelves as well as some grid wall shelves that you can see here. And then behind this wall is where I plan to offer braid services. So there would be 2 stations back there, one for me and one for another person. My target market is the Black and African American community here in Salina and in the surrounding areas. That target market makes up about 4.18% of the total Salina population, which is a little over 1,900 people. I also have statistics for surrounding areas, which have smaller target markets, with the exception of Junction City. It's probably because of the military base, honestly. But the goal is to have all those people in those surrounding areas, as well as Salina, be able to access my store for all the hair care needs versus having to outsource to beauty supply stores in Wichita or Kansas City. To reach my target market, I plan to utilize platforms like Instagram, Facebook. I do already have some pages up already, and I've been posting stuff just to try to communicate to my potential customers and create like happiness and excitement for the business. I also want to host those workshops and classes that I talked about earlier, and I really want to create a strong online presence. So I'm going to be using my Google Business profile and really beefing that up. And I want it to be to the point where people search in Midwest Beauty Supply Store and BHF Beauty Supply as the first search pop-up. So some of my competitors include Genie's Beauty Supply in Junction City. However, that is 45 minutes one way to Junction City. And then they have extremely weird operating hours. They close at 4:45. And for a 9-to-5 girl like me, I'm not making it before 5. And then there's Elegance Beauty and Barber Supply on the north end of town. However, they do have a limited product selection, and then a lack of product and hair education as well. And then there's big retailers like Walmart and Target, but they have very small, again, limited textured hair care sections. So just to go over some of my financials, startup costs would total a little under $16,000. I have some revenue streams listed here. Obviously, product sales. My workshops and my classes I intend to have free. However, if it is a more intricate or detailed type of learning or course, it might have an entry fee, and then possible booth rent for any other graders that intend to grade at my shop. I plan to have 3 to 4 employees at my shop, working 4 to 5 hour shifts, ranging from 10 to 13 dollars an hour. I do have some projected revenue and projected profit and loss figures up here. Just going off of a daily goal of trying to earn $400 a day, that would be 20 customers coming in, their average purchase total being $20 a purchase. That would give me that 400, and then operating days, I calculated it to be 24, just because I'm shipping those Sundays, 6 days a week, 4 weeks in a month. That would be 9,600 a month. I did multiply the 9,600 by 40% cost of goods sold. In the hair industry, it is around 40 to 60%. So I just multiplied that, got my gross profit, and then subtracting the gross profit from the expenses from the gross profit. The expenses include rent, wages, all that type of stuff. Just trying to get the figures in there. My net profit would be a little over $1,900, which I think is not terrible for a startup business. Winning the $6,000 today would help go towards inventory, as well as finishing up some of the final touches in my store. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of the timeline I have. So I'm planning on launching in May or June of this year. I have some short-term goals as well as some long-term goals listed here. One of the biggest short-term goals for me is having a great opening event. I want to have like a ribbon cutting ceremony. I'm a pretty theatrical person, so it's something I want it all to do at this point. And long-term goals, I want to maybe launch an e-commerce platform. I'm really focused on brick and mortar now, but possibly doing online sales at some point. I cannot believe I finished. I thank you guys so much for your time, and thank you for having me here.
I will tell you, I'll give you a compliment. Out of 4 years, by far the best speech. Yeah, and everything. Yeah, really I'm not a judge. I don't have a dollar to give you. But by far, congratulations. And if you don't win anything here, you can come to my company and put a P&L together for me, because that was outstanding. Okay. So at this time, what I'd like to do is open it up for the judges who have some questions for you, and you can answer those. Go ahead.
Where would you like to see it in 3 years?
In 3 years?
As far as the first revenue?
Definitely over the 1,000 that I calculated for $20 a day. Just with a combination of e-commerce and the brick and mortar, I would hope to profit maybe $5,000 a month after all expenses are covered.
Thank you.
plan to be in the business full-time or continue with an 8 to 5 and this is kind of something else, or?
So in the beginning, it will be just part-time for me, working Saturdays, so I love my job. I really don't want to leave. So the plan is to have my husband work on Fridays, because he doesn't work Fridays, and then have employees in there. And possibly sometime in the future, quitting altogether and doing this full-time.
I agree with Todd, great presentation. Tell me about, is your grading service part of your business plan here? Did you include that in your financial plans, or is that a separate piece?
So it is separate. I have a whole nother LLC for my grade business, it's Resale LLC.
Awesome.
I didn't that, but I will be grading behind that wall with other
Sure.
grader in there, yeah.
Awesome.
So two separate businesses.
Two separate things. Awesome. Thank you.
Any other questions? Any other questions? My last question for you before we give you a nice applause is, how thick does one guy's hair have to be to put braids in it? I mean, my good friend over there is wondering. Oh, it's about length, John. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even go there with you, Greg. I just went, you know what? I can tell you who's not your clientele. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Anyway, put your hands together for a big Okay, now comes the time where they kick me off the stage. They probably very well deserved those, the people who won it, and they're the ones who are doing all the hard work, who took the money, and they put it to good use, and they're going to tell us a little bit about their company. So, what do they have, a couple of 2 minutes, do you think? Do they have a time frame as well, or about 4 or 5 minutes? Look at that, there you go. Okay, right here, guest speaker. JC, our month activation, correct? Yeah, are you mic'd up as well, or
Yeah, I do not have a mic.
There you are.
Let's say, I'm JC. I am an occupational therapist and lactation consultant, and I am the owner of Heartland Lactation. So I participated last year and got second place. I've been providing lactation services in the Salina area since 2022. I was at Revive Integrative Health until I did this pitch challenge last year, and I was able to start providing my services through my own business, Heartland Lactation. So Heartland Lactation provides services through North Central Kansas. I have worked with moms here in Salina, Minneapolis, Lindsborg, Abilene, Clay Center, Washington, Claflin. I've even helped some moms in Nebraska through telehealth. So I've really done all North Central Kansas. It's not just this Saline County area. I provide services to breastfeeding moms. So if they're having any issues with latch pain, with milk supply issues, positioning, any oral restrictions that they're having, I can help with them with that. I also provide body work and cranial signal, which is not very common here in the Salina area. We don't really have much of that here in this area. I also, if they are having any bottle issues, so like bottle refusal, trying to pick a bottle for the baby, I can help him with that, navigating with it. I also, with moms that are pumping, I'm able to help kind of figure out a best pump for them. Flange fitting to ensure the greatest comfort that they're going to get while pumping. And then also going back to work. Sometimes going back to work is a struggle, and so I can kind of help navigate that and kind of give them some suggestions as well. I provide in-home services, in-clinic services in my office in Minneapolis. So I'm actually stationed out of Minneapolis. And then I also do telehealth as well. So because I did the Charlie Walker Pitch Challenge last year, I was able to pursue my International Board Certificate of Lactation Consultant, which is like the holy grail of lactation consultant certificates. And because I was able to get that and gain that this last year, I have been able to move from a cash-based service to an insurance-based service. And so if I am providing a mom services through their insurance, I'm able to basically cover 4 to 6 sessions with them fully covered through the insurance instead of them having to pay out of pocket. And so that's been a huge thing for access to care for moms, because who wants to pay for out-of-pocket services when you're already paying for insurance? Plus, it's fully covered, so moms never see a bill from me if they are using their insurance, which has been awesome. But overall, I mean, the Charlie Walker kind of helped me take those first steps to entrepreneurship because I was working through someone else's business. And because I was able to gain that funding, I was able to go out on my own, develop my business, and just kind of help empower those moms through that breastfeeding journey that they've experienced. Thanks.
I don't know about you guys, but from the judges over here, it's exciting, like Megan, you realized over there, and John, and to see that the businesses that you voted on, what they're doing with the money. I think that's kind of cool. Like I was listening to that success story, and what came over me was what she's doing is not possible without the thought and Charlie Walker and paving the way, and again, the sponsors are giving the money. So I think that's so cool. Next up, this one is number 3. We're already on number 3. Christina, is it Milberg? Did I say that correctly? Christian Milberg. Bubbly Bins LLC. You're all both mic'd up and ready to go? Put your hands together. Welcome to the stage. Bubbly Bins. Pretty tough for me to give that up.
Hello. Is that on? Is that on? Okay. Hello. I'm Christian Gilbert.
I'm Courtney. And I'm Megan.
And we are Bubbly Bins. Alright, so what is Bubbly Bins? We are a power washing company. And what separates us different from the other ones is we specialize in bin cleaning. Sorry, I got a little video. So we started just this year in January 2025. We're a little behind schedule with all the snow that we got, and then we did welcome our first son to Earth. So,
And also, we have this customized trailer that you see in the video. So it kind of gives like a car wash experience for all the bins. So it allows us to move really efficiently through neighborhoods. And then we offer both the trash bin cleaning services, and we offer some surface cleaning services, which we'll kind of go into.
alright, so some of our services, we offer one-time bin cleaning for $30, but we can get you on a subscription. We offer one time a month cleaning for $15 a month, or twice a month. We also do surface cleanings for residential and commercial. So currently we have a 360-degree rotating spray nozzle with the hot water. Then we have an eco-friendly solution, clean water tank, which is 325 gallons, and then we have a gray water or dirty water tank. The fundings that we need is for surface cleaner, washers, and then a push sweeper, and tank brushes, advertising and marketing.
Yeah, and then so this will just kind of allow us to kind of like cruise through patios like that a little bit easier and get like some deeper stains. For that, making it a little bit more bang for their buck. The customers who are not taking as long, and so it's less money for them, being that we charge per hour. Okay. So our target market is really any homeowners, any property owners overall. Maybe they're renting out their house and they just want to kind of clean up everything before, or maybe the last people, left a big mess or something. Also any businesses that might have some outside like patio or something, or activities that they need to clean up. Maybe there's a big storm and it's like a playground, they need to kind of clean it all up and things like that. So when you research power washing companies, we're really the first of our kind because of our unique trailer that allows us to do that so efficiently, move through neighborhoods like you saw. And then also our pricing is very competitive with other local power washing companies in Salina. there's not a lot already, and then we just kind of take into consideration the water and the solution that we use. And then so so our goals are, the first one is to get 50 subscribers within the first 3 months. So we're kind of working on that right now and cruising. Again, we have that delay with having it and all that incredible snow. But for residents, like really face-to-face has been working a lot better than social media. So we want to start hitting up vendor fairs as the summer starts. We want to do kind of like some flyers in public spaces more. We just need more like physical items to bring to the people instead of just relying on Facebook and social media alone. And then for businesses, we really want to be meeting with businesses, get a contract with them. That's one of our goals, is to get a contract with them the first 6 months. Whether that is with some like a waste, whether that is with just a local restaurant or something in town. We want to secure that within the first 6 months, so that can be a reoccurring kind of job that we have. And then also meeting with like realtors and contractors, people who have a lot of interaction with homeowners, whether they want to sell their home or just kind of get a fresh start. If we can kind of partner with them and offer them like maybe some resources of local places, and then people would know about us, especially if they're not from Salina, they're first moving here.
All right, now everyone's favorite, most entertaining part, the finances of it all. So a lot of these were hard to tell as far as like market surveys, because when you do a market survey, you follow around, you see what other people are charging, you see how good their services are being utilized, but we did not really have that to utilize since we're the first ones that have been cleaning business. There are some that are in different states that we did look into and try to contact, but they were northern states, so they did not work as often as we hoped to work. Some things to point out here, all of our sales are based on goals that we set for subscribers, one-time users who don't commit to subscriptions, contracts, as well as residential cleanings. And then I also didn't calculate, in anything for March, which we've already got some subscribers, we've already got some contracts, so we're already doing good. And calculations haven't even started for March because we just got up and going. And then salary for year 2 and 3 are based on $10 an hour, 40 hours a week, and there's a 3% COLA increase for year 3. Everything else is pretty standard, and we are open to questions.
Is the bin proprietary? Is it something you guys developed, or is that something you purchased for the business? The trailer, sorry.
Yeah. So the trailer we purchased, we were able to get a business loan for $50,000. So they are made. We bought ours in Utah. So.
Any other questions? Raise your hand.
So I think you mentioned something about waste management. Do you have a partnership with them?
No.
So we're in kind of talking with.
Yeah. We did have somebody reach out to us through our messages, and he wants to get in connection with us because they're behind on their money.
I've been here 40 years, and I don't think anybody's ever washed them.
Well,
it's not surprising.
Yes, they did pretty gnarly, so.
Any other questions? Oh.
How many bins could you clean in a day?
In a day, we haven't really got to push that limit, but if I was to guess, I can guarantee probably 100.
The tank that we have, the water tank, is good enough to, depending on the size of the bin, it's good enough to cover anywhere from 60 to just, I think, smidge over 100
contract situation where, say, we go to solid waste management and we clean them and they're all in place, and we've got one tank and we can kind of just push them off, it's a very large number that we could handle. It's really just the time-consuming part of going to each spot.
Sorry, Julie, your time's up.
So, I assume all the wastewater goes into the trailer. How do you dispose of all of that?
I'm glad you asked that. We have reached out to the Salina, yeah. So everything we use is eco-friendly. So the soap we use has all been EPA approved to go into the drains and stuff. So there's not many harsh chemicals that's going to end up in the streets and all that, like super eco-friendly.
I'm the person who looks at that spreadsheet of numbers, so I'll ask it. I saw on your list that you had water at like $25 or something like that a month.
This was based on the Kansas rural water calculations. So it gave me an option. I clicked this area because that's where we're located. Click this area, it gave me how much the water cost. And I went all the way up, even though it holds 325 gallons and I can process 60-inch bins, more like 75. It gave me $143 per month for 30,000 gallons of water. And I thought, that can't be right, but this is a government website. So are we doing that still?
Thank you, I appreciate it. You did your due diligence, that's what I want to know. Thank you.
Any other questions? Perfect. Congratulations. What I heard, Robin, was you asked where the water was, all that dirty water. Oh, sorry, Julie, I gave you two confused. Yeah, one of the same. I heard, maybe you can confirm, they use all that dirty water at the Starbucks coffee place. But in 1858, it's clean, refreshing water. Now, I'll tell you how my mind works. I'm sitting over there, and I created a whole new business. Mine's called Bin Swap. I work from 10 to 2 in the morning, and for $10 a monthly fee, I'll take your bin and exchange it out with your neighbors, who's much cleaner than yours, and it's called Bin Swap. You'd like to do that? I'm glad you laughed, because you're like the only one. Everybody else is like, oh, that's not good. Okay, so while we're waiting for the next one to come up on here, how I met Charlie Walker. So when I originally from Denver, Colorado, some of you have heard this story before. Moved here when I was 19 years old, and I worked for a little company down in town called Anderson Leather Shop. Have you ever heard of Anderson Leather Shop? So I met Andy Anderson because I worked at Sheckler's, which is now Boot Barn out in Denver, Colorado. And I met Andy Anderson. He hired me to manage Anderson Leather Shop. Who do you think the number one client, if you knew Charlie Walker at all, who dressed up in, the guy looked like the Lone Ranger, okay? Boots, fancy star stuff, the fanciest leather coat you've ever seen, rings on his hand, and always dressed to the nines. And Anderson Leather carried very expensive leather coats, boots, and everything else in there. Well, he would come in just to talk to Andy. But my job was, before he left, to make sure he left with a new pair of boots, a briefcase, a leather coat, no matter what it was. That was my job to do that. Now, Charlie didn't do that. But Andy and I had this little thing, and when he would walk in, he'd say, hey, when he's getting ready to leave, I'll push this little button, beep, 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 and he's walking downstairs. And anyway, so I got to know Charlie that way. All you had to do was pick out the nicest leather coat with fringe and stuff like that. They say, Charlie, let me show you what we got in. And then you would show him that, and he would buy that. And then one day, Carolyn came in, which was his wife, and she said, would you please stop selling him leather coats? We have an entire closet full of leather coats, but it's not like collecting baseball cards. Charlie loved to collect really nice leather coats. If you saw him around town, he would have the fanciest leather coat on. So I got to know Charlie very well through Anderson Leather Shop, and then later on in another business I worked at was selling copy machines for Central Office products. And I was given Blue Beacon as my account. And so I got to know Charlie very well by selling copy machines to him. And then later on I got into the real estate business. And Charlie became a great client of mine. He had another company called Burwater, and we did a lot of relocating people in. Whether you may not know it or not, they have 2 jets that sit in a hangar right down here. And is any of your field rep in them city? Okay, so then I talk about it. I don't know how many they have, like 20 or 25 field reps. And every Sunday night or Monday morning, right, which is, you remember? Yeah, and on both, they get in the jets and they fly 25 field reps all over North America. And then on Thursday night, they get in the jets and they fly home, they have manager meetings. And I asked Charlie why they did that. And he said, because it's more beneficial, and we figured out that we want the employees to come back and meet together face to face than to have them living everywhere, all across North America. And so all of their field reps live here in town. And so it's just another part. If you knew Charlie, it doesn't surprise you at all, because he wanted to have that interaction with his people that he had out there. He wanted to know exactly what was going on, and he wanted to be face to face, and he wanted to know the truth, rather than getting a fax. You guys all remember what a fax is? You're probably not. Little thing called for a little comes through. Fax or an email or just a phone call from them. He wanted to know exactly what was going on. So he was an amazing guy. Feel very blessed to know him. Many of you guys knew him very well. Also did business with him. And the guy had a presence when he walked in the room. You just knew what was going on. So the next story I'll tell you when I'm up next is how he outbid Siegfried and Roy for White Tiger. And many of you guys know that story, and how it started out at the Rolling Hills Zoo. When I was 19, I went out there and it just started out with some nice little horses. Yeah. Okay, I'm done. Okay. All right. That was, very good. I'm not doing this anymore. All right, up next, more round of applause for Maddie Chandler with Donatil Designs and Events.
Imagine a beautifully styled picnic, a cozy birthday brunch, or a romantic anniversary setup, without the stress of planning any of it. That's where Donatil Designs and Events comes in. We specialize in curating intimate gatherings, pop-up parties, and picnics that turn ordinary moments into unforgettable memories. Our services are perfect for romantic dates, proposals, brunches, bridal showers, birthday celebrations, corporate retreats, team building events, or simply just because moments that deserve something special. Good evening, everyone. My name is Maddie, and I am presenting the vision of Donatil Designs and Events. So a little bit about me. I was born and raised in Salina. I attended Sacred Heart High School and then went off to Emporia State, where I received my bachelor's in business marketing. After that, spent a few years in Kansas City. Returned back in 2020 to Salina because I believe in the potential of this community. I've seen firsthand how Salina is growing with new businesses, the revitalized downtown, and a sense of renewed energy. I want to contribute to that by offering something new that's thoughtfully designed, stress-free, and that brings people together. That being said, the event planning industry is always booming, something that is consistently there for all of life's celebratory moments. Today, people value experiences. They don't just want an event. They want a memory, a beautifully crafted moment that they can cherish forever, and share that party setup that is conveniently in their living room, their dining room, or backyard. Salina is no exception. There is a growing demand for a high-end, customized events, especially as social media fuels the desire of the Instagram-worthy celebrations, especially from what you see on the screen behind me, for all these micro
However, many people don't have the time or the expertise to plan them themselves. We take care of everything, the design, the setup, the takedown, so our clients can simply show up and just enjoy. So why now and why Salina? Now is the perfect time to launch this business for 3 key reasons. Experiential events are growing. Those are the micro events that I'm talking about that are gatherings between 10 and 50 people are on the rise. Well, people are investing in unique, curated experiences over traditional large-scale celebrations. Secondly, the aesthetic-driven demand, the influence of social media, means that people want visually stunning events where every detail matters. Lastly, the busy lifestyles. Many people want to host dinner parties or gatherings, but just simply don't have the time to plan them. They're looking for a professional to take care of the details. Salina is expanding, and yet it lacks a one-stop shop for event planning. Currently, residents are either DIYing their events or looking outside of the city for professional event planners. By launching Donatel Designs and Events, we're filling this gap, providing Salina with kind of the high-end services you typically see in larger cities. Our competitive edge is our ability to provide all-inclusive, fully customizable event services at an affordable price. We will work closely with all the local vendors, many of you in this room, meaning are successful directly support other small businesses in the community. We want to capture this line of market by ensuring affordability for your event. I've done a lot of competitor pricing just for some comparisons, and some of the very high price tag examples you see behind me add up really, really fast with the fees, and then they charge on top of that for installation and setup. So what are our local limitations? We have all these amazing restaurants, florists, photographers, and venue spaces that exist, but no one brings it all together. When you Google search event planner in Salina, Kansas, you will see a list of all of our venues that we have in town. And if you keep scrolling down, you'll actually see one lady in red who specializes in just weddings, but she actually operates right out of Salina. And then, so you can see that the first 2 are the same person. And then thirdly, Glow Creations is a balloon decorator. So the market for planning these smaller events is untapped. My first year goals would be to secure 25 to 50 bookings, generating between $19,000 and $38,000 in revenue. I'd like to collaborate with local businesses, venues, caterers, and more to showcase Salina's favorites. The list could go on for all the fun places that these pop-up parties and picnics could be at. Parks, venues, interactive fun places for kids, birthdays, like on the pod, sky trampoline, your backyard, and more. Lastly, I'd like to build a strong brand presence and refine our service offerings. So to achieve these goals, we have multiple different revenue streams. So one being the luxury pop-up picnic packages that are stylishly curated setups between 2 to 12 guests. This would be sustainable year-round because you can do it indoor or outdoor. Secondly, event planning services from day of coordination to full planning packages. And then the event design and rentals. So what that is the decor rentals, the tablescapes, kids tables, chairs, backdrops, and more. To launch, here is our startup budget, found on page 110. This investment covers essential costs. If awarded the $6,000, this would allow for the purchasing of the event equipment, decor, such as the picnic tables you saw in the earlier slides. Sorry. It's okay, that's okay. That's okay. Darn it.
Good job. Any questions for Maddie? Congratulations, good job. Yeah.
How do you do the food? Do you take charge of it, or does the customer have to deal with you and the food caterer?
So the food is where I would want to collaborate with whatever the client would want for that event. So if it's their birthday party or kids' favorite food, along with the local restaurants in town, kind of get up to them.
I mean, to piggyback that question, so depending on the thing, would you coordinate with the caterer and take care of all of that? Okay. Got it. Hi. Okay, so all of the decor and all of that stuff, like, are you gonna have to have like a facility to store all that stuff?
So, so storage in the miscellaneous items is kind of where I want to have that. Sorry, I didn't get all the way through. Yeah, storage, I would definitely, that would come into like the monthly cost of having all of it. Right now I have a lot in my house. Just tablet everything. Yes. Yeah, great question.
Any other questions? Put your hands together for a great presentation. Next up, we're going to have a guest speaker from Salina's selfie station located downtown Salina. So Janelle's going to talk to us a little bit about her winnings and what she did with it and how she started her business. Give her a nice warm welcome.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm Janelle and with Salina Selfie Station, and I co-own with Josh Tellefson, one of the judges. This is our fourth Charlie Walker Fish Challenge that we have been to. So we saw one, did one, cheered one, and now Josh is judging at this one. So it's kind of been fun to see our own journey in the Charlie Walker Fish Challenge over the last 4 years. But we won fourth place in 2023. Next to PT Physical Therapy Partners, Revive Integrative Health, and Rosie's on Iron. There was some competition. It was impressive. So with that fourth place, we won $2,000. And as far as I know, we were the first business that really just had an idea and won a place in the Charlie Walker Fish Challenge. Otherwise, we had absolutely nothing, but we just had this idea. You guys should buy in. And luckily, we did, and with that $2,000, we invested in a mobile selfie station booth. And so I have that set up in the back, and what that is state-of-the-art technology with some really cool photo booth software. You guys gotta try it out tonight because we're testing out some new AI stuff tonight. Asked Mitch about his rock star picture and Kathy's 80s OG picture. So there's some cool stuff going on back there. But we used our $2,000 to buy that to get our brand up and going until we could either save up enough money or go through the process of getting loans to be able to get a brick and mortar downtown. Once we got that, we opened Salina Selfie Station then in December of this last year. So we've been open and operating for 5 months. And essentially what that is like an open photography studio. And so we change out over 15 different sets quarterly, so with seasons and with different events in Salina. And we set up ring lights, and you bring your own phones, professional photographers, cameras, whatever you want to bring, and then you come in and just have at it. You have the whole place. We charge by the hour for adults, children, and then 3 and under are free. And we're not really that strict on the hours. So it's not a big deal. You can stay and play as long as you want. We make the booths really interactive. So Josh also is in construction, so he builds a lot of the things that we use for our sets, so that way people can climb in and on and around and move things around. And so it's been a fun addition to downtown, and some of the partnerships that we have created with some of the other businesses. We are super excited to have a money booth that ties with Salina Art Center's moving exhibit of American money this spring. So it's fun things that we've done. We have the booth set up in the back, have some flyers. Come get a selfie and enjoy the night.
Thank you. Congratulations. All right, we got our next participant ready to go. There you go. They're getting ready. Next up is Jessica Swinson with Wesleyan Toys, and I believe they're located downtown Salina. So there you guys go. Put your hands together for them. Hey, Bear, what you got over there? A cookie?
Yes, and I have some cereal, and some yogurt, and a steak.
What? Where'd you find all that?
At the Wheeling Toys, and it's dishwasher safe.
Oh, wow! I was there just this afternoon, and I got this great brain puzzle called Communal.
Wow.
I also got this really awesome game called Buildsy, and I want to teach you it.
What? I can't learn a game in less than 7 minutes.
Of course you can. Will do. I'll teach you that. Well, as if Eric and Jessica talk about Familia Toys.
Hello, we're Jessica and Eric Swinson with Wesleyan Toys in downtown Salina. We have just opened on March 14th, and we are super excited to be in downtown Salina. So we're here to tell you about our interactive experience while you shop for toys and for fun. So we have a passion for play. It's not just for kids. It is for everybody. Everyone can make memories, connections, and conversation through play. From our personal experience and from professional experience, we've seen all the way from 0 to 107 where play is what you need. We rejuvenate brain cells as we age through play, so you are never too old to play. Our target audience is parents, grandparents, play therapists, daycares, kids, and everybody in between. So we saw the need for a place that you could go and buy engaging and educational and creative toys. And every time we went out of town and traveled, we would go to toy stores and game stores, and we would say, we need this in Salina. The whole ride home was, how can we do that someday? There's no way we could ever do that. That would be crazy. And we're crazy, so here we are. So what makes us different than other places where you can buy toys or games? So again, it's an interactive experience. From the moment you walk in, we have little tables for little. They can sit down and try games, try toys, touch it, feel it. They won't break it because they're durable and dishwasher safe. And as you walk through the store, we want people to be able to feel and touch and interact with everything. And as you get towards the back, there are some tables that seat more people and adults, families, and you can try those things out too before you buy them. And then as you're walking out, we have this cute little ruler where kids have been measuring how tall they are. Parents are taking their picture, posting it on social media, and it's been a great marketing tool for us and a memento for them to take home and tell their friends, I went to the toy store and the kid's this tall. And next time we go, they grew this much. So it's been a fun experience.
And yeah, so we're trying to redefine what shopping for fun looks like in the community. And one of those things that contributes to that as well is the kind of items we provide. And so we spend a lot of time going researching from different vendors and other places that sell toys of what's the latest and greatest for engaging and creative things. And so we spend a lot of time with those. We've joined game associations. And so we're really trying to bring things from a wide variety of categories here into the Salina community. And so that ranges from all kinds of things, right? So there's gorgeous dress-up gowns for your young princess. There's new science kits for your STEM enthusiast child. And then there's also like puzzles and games and all kinds of complexities from very simple to complex. So there's a little bit of something for everybody that's there. So that's a little bit about where we're at and what we're doing. If we want to talk a little bit about our financials and everything, toys are a great place to be. The contribution ratio is actually quite good. It's 48.7%, and our break-even sales for the month is only $8,425. So that's roughly $351 a day, and that's only for selling for 24 days a month. So even in February, with a shorter selling season, we can still make that break-even point. So we're not in it just for fun, but we're also going to make a little money as well. But where are we going to go? That's what we're doing and how we're staying busy. But we are here because we want to talk about community connections. And we think that a big way we will be able to do that is through hosting events at the toy store. And starting with the inaugural Familia Toys Jigsaw Jam, where it will be a night of competition of puzzle makers, where you'll schedule your time, you'll come with your team, and then you'll be provided with the puzzle for the night, a table, and your sorting supplies. And then when the buzzer goes, you'll try to be the first team to finish your puzzle. This would also then easily segue into other events like Learn to Play events, where our new games that come into the store, we want to sample that with folks. And then also just fun Friday nights with the Familia Toys, of just a general place for families to come that's warm and inviting in downtown Salina, where they can just come and be a family and have a little bit of fun. And then our last part that we want, especially from these funds, would be to be able to partner with other family-focused businesses in the town, where we're wanting to be a resource for them so that they can also have access to things to engage minds and creativity in their different venues. So maybe that looks like a coding kit or a play center where we would provide different coding kits for them. Or maybe it's a fully stocked pretend kitchen for a play area in a different daycare or something like that. Or maybe it's just a nice calming corner at a waiting room or something where folks might be getting stressed and they just have a little something. It's our mobile try tables. So of course it helps us because other people see what we have in the store, but it's also providing the power of play to the community at large.
So be sure to come downtown and see us at Familia Toys. We have toys and games, and everybody in this room can play, because you are never too old to play. So thank you guys very much.
Congratulations. Now it's time for the question part. So you guys ready for some questions? Reach out. And you guys can be thinking about that real quick. Any questions for them? John's question was, do you have any retail experience?
So throughout high school and college, I worked at Houston, and that was where I got my retail experience. And then from there, I went to OCCK and managed about 6 different departments.
And maybe I wasn't listening, but no, MC's gonna have a question. That's okay, John. You good with that? Well, it's his show. I'm just here. So did you say Familia? Where did you get the name from? Did you already say that? Did I just miss it? Where did Familia Toys come from?
Yeah, so Familia is family in Spanish, and my first language is Spanish. I actually learned English in kindergarten, so we also wanted that to be part of our inclusive, that everybody's welcome, everyone's invited, no matter what language you speak. And a lot of our games also don't require reading, so no matter what language you speak, you can play together.
Awesome. That's a great story. I'm glad I asked. John. All right, nice round of applause again for Familia Toys. Okay, while they're taking that out, I was going to make short stories, so we're going to be here until like 10 o'clock tonight. So let's see. The next one we have coming up, we'll wait for them. Because Jarrell Forbes is going to come up next. Did I say that? Jarrell Forbes? Jarrell? Okay. Anyway, I was going to tell you about the white tiger story. One of the other times I met Charlie Walker was he walked in with a chimpanzee. Maybe you guys ever owned a chimpanzee? Well, apparently he wanted one. And so I don't know where he got it, but he had a chimpanzee. And then the next time I saw him, we heard the story that he came in and told us that he was bidding on a white tiger. And he was bidding against, come to find out, it was the Siegfried and Roy. They were trying to get it for their show in Las Vegas, and Charlie Walker somehow ended up with a white tiger. Now, I will tell you that I never saw the white tiger. I wish I would have. But I did hear that owning a white tiger requires a lot more responsibility, I think, than Charlie actually wanted. I don't know how long he kept it, but I heard one time he let that go. And that's where the idea came for him to start the Rolling Hills Refuge. Was he was really big into animals. How many of you guys ever been out Rolling Hills? Okay. If you've never been out there, the very first time I heard about it, I just jumped in my car like on a Saturday, and I went out there, and I turned the corner, and then I saw the entranceway. You guys ever see the entranceway there? It was like Jurassic Park. You remember when that first started? I've been out there many times. When Charlie started, it was just one horse farm. He had probably 5 or 6 Clydesdales, like the Budweiser that pulls the. That's how he started collecting animals when I met. Now he probably had something before that. But when I went out there, he was really big into Clydesdales, and he would collect those, and then it just kind of turned into his love for animals, and he came up with the Rolling Hills Refuge Wild Center, which continues on now after his death. And it's a phenomenal organization. And then I don't know much about the, I'll tell you one story I do know, the stuffed animal, I call them stuffed animals. There's a diorama, is that kind of what that's called? Taxidermy ones. I always say it's got a bunch of stuff. I tell my friends it's got a bunch of stuffed animals, and they really think we're going to see stuffed animals. But how many of you guys have been out there and saw the elephant? You heard the story about the elephant and how I came across that? So it came from California. The story is, maybe somebody can tell me that on there was a guy who owned a bunch of taxes, and he bought the entire thing from California, but the elephant was so tall that when they were shipping it, you guys have seen the elephant that's in it couldn't come down I-70 because of the bridges. So they had to route that elephant inside of a trailer all the way from California, and it couldn't go under any overpasses that were below whatever the height of the trunk is. So again, these are fun facts in which you probably don't care about, but they're fun facts for me. But you can continue the legacy on of Charlie Walker when you take your kids out there and say, hey, fun fact about that, came from California, and they had to maneuver it because it's too tall for bridges. So anyway, do whatever you want with that information. Are you ready? All right, let me give you a little introduction to here. No props, nothing, huh? No, sir. Oh, I can shake my hand. That's nice. Nice to meet you. Well, I'm just going to introduce you here from, am I saying Jarrell correctly? Yes, sir. Okay. Jarrell Forbes with Goshen Aquaponics. Goshen Aquaponics. Yes, sir. I'm intrigued. Let's hear what you have to say. Give him a round of applause.
Thank you. My name is Jarrell Forbes. We're here with Goshen Aquaponics. I'm the owner. Goshen Aquaponics is actually a business that we set up through our ministry as phase 1 of our community farm project. So it's a subsidiary of Goshen. Pretty much that just means that all the money that comes in will go directly towards our community farm project. So one of the important things about sustainability for our farm, we believe, just having that steady stream of revenue. Okay, what is aquaponics? Aquaponics is actually 2 different practices. We've got aquaculture, which is raising, breeding, and harvesting of fish. And then we've got hydroponics, which is raising produce in nutrient-rich water in a soil system. So these systems seem like they're kind of new and interesting, but it's actually dates back thousands of years. We see echoes of this in the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, in the Chinambas of Mexico. We see it in the ancient Asian rice paddies, and it's evolved into the $1 million industry that it is today. Another interesting fact, aquaculture is actually one of the fastest Aquaculture is actually one of the fastest growing forms of agriculture in the United States, but it does have its issues. In closed systems, there's constant, there's this massive bioload that has to be filtered out, and we always have to have water changes. And then, I'm going too fast, with hydroponics, same thing, there's this need for nutrients that has to be outsourced. So aquaponics kind of steps in the middle of that. The fish provide the food for the plants, and then the plants take in the nutrients or that bioload and clean the water for the fish. So yeah, for our system, The desire is to use tilapia. They are a very hardy fish, extremely productive. They're sexually mature at 3 to 4 months of age. They're ready for harvest at 8 months. So pretty cool. They're really commonly used in aquaponic production. So yeah, fun fact, in the Bible, John 21, where Jesus is telling the disciples to cast their nets to the other side, and they pull in all of the fish. It's widely believed that the fish that they brought in was tilapia. So kind of coined the name St. Peter's fish. So yeah, thought that was pretty cool. At our building at 1217 Santa Fe is the old Natural Connections building over by KWU. We want for customers to experience aquaponics. We want for them to experience a living salad farm. So when customers come in, they'll be able to get on our 36-inch tablet and they can go through all of our fresh available produce that's growing right there on site. We'll have lettuce, kale, Swiss chard, we'll have mustard, cucumbers, tomatoes, microgreens, herbs, all kinds of stuff, like strawberries. And, yep. As they click on each item, they'll be able to learn about the nutritional values and the benefits and stuff like that. And then they can build their own salad based on their own dietary needs. So while customers are waiting for their food, we want for them to explore our facility, for them to be able to go and see the grow shelves, the living bowls, for them to see the trellises, for kids to feed the fish. We really just want them to be able to be immersed in the art of aquaponics. Each of the salads that we sell will be sold at $80 or $80, wow, 80 cents an ounce. So we have 50 customers a day bringing in the average, or getting the average 12-ounce salad 6 days a week. That's about $12,000 that will come in every month. And our expenses are actually about a third of that, so $4,000. So we'll have $8,000 that will go directly towards our community farm programs. Okay. Getting started, we need $9,600. That's going to cover grow shelves. It's going to cover our living walls, our tanks that we're building by hand for the fish. That will cover our dwarf trees, fish, license, tech, all of that stuff. And it seems like a lot, but at the beginning of this, I told you guys that this is a 3-phase model. So phase 1 is Goshen Aquaponics, which is intended to provide the funding that's needed for phase 2, which is our community farm. So it's to provide the funding for the feeding operations. And community farm is where we will grow poultry, pork, produce, and fish. And it will be distributed by the food bank. And then we also want to educate students on sustainable agriculture and then aquaponics. So then phase 3 is a community store. It's part of our 3-year plan that we want to set up on the north side, where these items will be sold low cost to the community. Yeah, so it seems like a lot, but honestly, in comparison to the impact that we want to make, it's like peeing in the ocean, for lack of a better term. So anyways, our desire is to set this up not just in Salina County, but we eventually would like for these to be set up in every county in Kansas and then further. So I don't really take this as a pitch. It's more of an invitation for us. We want to invite you guys to partner with us in feeding and educating and strengthening our communities. Sounds like a cheesy term, but we want to make communities great again. So when I grew up here, Salina for me was darkness, depression, despair. It was a lot of decay. But I really believe that God's making this a launching ground now. We just want to invite you guys to be a part of it. So thank you for your time.
Thanks, Joel. Phenomenal presentation. It's super cool. I know exactly. I drive by your all the time. I didn't know that's what you did there by your building. So exactly educational for that connection. Okay. Any questions?
Hi, Jerome. I saw the financials of your business, and it listed all of the things to start your aquaponics. What about the kitchen portion of your business? Because you're gonna make salads?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you considered that? Like, tell me more.
Okay, so the building that we're using, we are still in construction with fixing the building up so that it's even like able to be used. There's a portion to the side of the building that we want to set up just a really simple traditional kitchen. And we're not sure what the regulations are as far as if it will need to be like 3-sink commercial kitchen by code, probably will. And I'm sure that that will add to our budget, but we're still working that. So.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Where's the source of revenue right now or capital that you're building out for that company?
So this is still something that is in the ground. I do construction work. We've got Goshen Repairs, which is our construction company. So all of the money that comes is coming from us. And when I say us, Goshen is me, my beautiful wife, and then 4 kids in that.
Nice. Any other questions? Perfect. Once again, thanks for the class. Thank you. All right, next up is another one of the winners who's going to give a presentation this evening. Joyful Noise, Melissa. Are you with us? Melissa there. So let's hear from her. Nice round of applause for Melissa with Joyful Noise.
Good evening, thank you for having me. I own Joyful Noise Playhouse and Joyful Noise Studios located in Central Mall. We were able to be the first winner of the Charlie Walker Pitch Challenge 4 years ago, and this is kind of how it all started. My husband and I were just crazy people with a crazy idea, and I went away for a weekend and left him with the kids, and this is the picture I got. And one of his complaints was, I don't know what to do with the kids when you're gone. And so we talked about how wouldn't it be great if we could have something fun to do with kids and families. One of our favorite things to do when we travel is to go to different children's museums and experiences. And that's where the whole idea kind of started. And then we ran across this Charlie Walker Pitch Challenge and we said, well, hey, why not? Let's do this. And we went. And then so we had to keep going. So in July of 2023, we moved to Central Mall. I had already had a music studio that has been running up and teaching for over 20 years now, but it's just continued to grow and grow every year. And so we now have 2 large classrooms for kinder music, which are music classes for children birth to 7 years. We have 3 large group classrooms. So there is our piano studio, but we also have room for string classes, guitar classes, any instrument, and then 7 private lesson rooms. And it has been just a great experience actually being in Central Mall. There's just a really great community there, and it's just been awesome. I've loved every minute. So we started renovations in October for the Playhouse, which is just right across the way, right next to Carlos O'Kelly's. I wouldn't be able to do this without my fabulous husband, so I had to feature him a little bit. He did all of our construction and work. I always say he does all the big stuff, and then I do all the finish, all the painting and drywall and all of that fun. So we created a little tiny village for children, a place that they get to use their imaginations and play and just enjoy time with family and friends. We were able to open December 22nd. In 2024, which is just a little over a year ago, and then we had a ribbon cutting in May. It's a really family-friendly space. We encourage families to come, and the kids are safe in there. They get to explore and enjoy different kinds of play. There's also a space for parents that maybe you need a break. Sometimes parents, you're all day with your kids, and you just might need a chance to sit down or maybe catch up on some emails. So we do have a space for parents to relax. And it's just been really fun seeing how the community all comes together and enjoys the space. One of my favorite parts about every house is that it's been sponsored by a local business here in town. We have some great friends and businesses, some of them who actually presented at the Pitch Challenge as well. And so each house is represented, And we really love that partnership. One of my favorite things is when the kids all come in and sit down to eat at Chick-fil-A, and then afterwards they go, well, we might as well go to Chick-fil-A. And so it's been a great experience for the local businesses as well. We've really enjoyed adding new things to it and just being super creative. We also offer birthday parties, so we can make it super simple for families to come in and have a birthday party. I'll do all the details, bring the cake and bring the decorations and everything, and you don't have to lift a finger. And when you're done, just make sure you bring your presents home and I clean up the mess. Princesses have also been really popular. We have multiple different princesses available that you can book to come to your party at the playhouse, or we can also go to your event. So that's been an additional thing that we've been doing that's been probably one of my favorite things to do. And then we also, with the studio, we also offer different camps and classes. One of the expansions that we've been able to do with the Playhouse is that we have Lego classes and art classes and Spanish classes, and it's been fun seeing what else the community wants and what we can provide. And it's been a blessing to be able to do that, and we wouldn't be able to be here today if it weren't for the Fish Challenge. So we're super appreciative and thankful. So thank you.
Nice.
I never knew the little town. I could see like a little Freddy's in there and a Bennington State Bank. They could go in there and do that. They want to get on that little opportunity for you. Hey, Jordan, I'm going to move you up after this deal here, so we'll fill some time so you'll tell your story right after. And I don't think that's going to miss. Just less. It's all good. All right, Marshall Zuccarelli, saying that correct? Close enough, yeah. M1 Pool Maintenance, put your hands together for a great presentation on Jordan Marshall.
And Marshall, before we start, I just want to give a shout out to Marshall because Marshall was our Youth Entrepreneurship Challenge winner this year, which is kind of our high school version of this event, and we invite our first place winner to compete at the Charlie Walker Pitch Challenge. So.
Hello, my name is Marshall Zuccarelli, and I'm here to tell you about my business, M1 Pool Maintenance. But before I begin, let me paint you a picture. Imagine you wake up on a warm summer day, ready to relax with your family in your newly installed swimming pool. But as you walk out to your backyard, you find that your pool looks like this. So what do? First, you start by making sure all your equipment is working. Then you grab your skimmer net and fish out all the bugs and grass. Next, you spend hours testing the water and balancing chemicals. By the time you are finally done, an entire day has been wasted, with no relaxation, no relief from your impatient kids, and no pool time. This is the last thing a new or experienced pool owner wants to deal with. And so, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to M1 Pool Maintenance, the solution to the most hated chore about a pool, keeping it clean. When my family moved to Salina in 2016, we were fortunate enough to find a home with space to accommodate my parents' dream of an in-ground swimming pool. Ever since that first summer, I have been helping with the routine cleaning and maintenance of the pool. Now, almost 9 years later, I want to use that experience to allow pool owners to enjoy their investment rather than be burdened by it. I also plan to complete a certified pool operator course so that I might expand my knowledge beyond the equipment our pool utilizes. The combination of my prior experience in this course will allow me to provide various services, including skimming, filter backwashing, vacuuming, and chemical cleansing. These services are the basis of M1 Pool Maintenance. In order to bring our services to the pool owners of Salina, we will first need to cover a few expenses, including the certified pool operator course, insurance, a digital chemical tester, and cleaning equipment. Our startup expenses total $3,388.07. Using Google Earth, we estimate that there are 165 in-ground pools in Salina. This is a picture of a small section of the city where we can already see 19 pools. We will advertise directly to these pool owners by way of paper flyers, yard signs, and Facebook posts. We also plan to collaborate with realtors so they can gift our services to their clients who have bought a home with a pool. In addition, M1 pool maintenance does not discriminate based on college student affiliation. Our competitors are separated between two groups: residential pool builders and small pool maintenance businesses. The companies that build pools in our area specialize in installation and repairs. However, their pool maintenance services are secondary compared to their main business of building pools. The other group, small pool maintenance businesses, is much different. Their quality is excellent since it is their only service. However, reliability can be problematic. A few summers ago, my family tried our luck with one of these pool cleaners in hopes that they would provide us with the hands-off experience we had been searching for. However, we were met with the exact opposite. This particular pool cleaner serviced our pool for about half of the summer before we stopped returning our calls and messages for 9 weeks straight. We were then left in a pool that was unusable for the remainder of the 23-week pool season and required much work to be returned to its functional state. No pool owner deserves this kind of treatment, and the more people we can save from this experience, the better. Another pool cleaner, who is well known for being very reliable, has retired recently, leaving a gap to be filled. I want to create a business that solely focuses on pool maintenance so that this important task is not overlooked, while also maintaining a high focus on reliability. Our services will be separated between 3 tiers to appeal to all types of pool owners. Tier 1 is for the person who is comfortable handling the weekly maintenance of their pool, but would prefer not to burden themselves by skimming every day. Tier 2 is for the person who does not want to skim every day and would also prefer not to handle the balancing of chemicals. Tier 3 is for the person who wants a full service experience so they can relax knowing that their pool is safe and sanitary at all times. There are 2 potential growth avenues for M1 pool maintenance: volume and services. In order to increase the volume of pools that we're able to service, hiring becomes necessary. Currently, we plan to cap our volume at 5 Tier 3 pools due to the amount of time it takes to perform the services. Additional Tier 1 and Tier 2 pools can be accommodated as well, since their time commitment is much less. Pools also need to be opened and closed at the beginning and end of every pool season. This is a service that other companies provide, but we have not yet expanded to. However, it is a necessary component of pool ownership, and it is a lucrative service for a pool maintenance business. Based on an increase in volume and addition of new services over the next 3 years, our sales will increase from $9,200 to $44,800. Insurance and wages make up a large portion of our expenses. We have also accounted for the replacement of all cleaning equipment every year, though this may not be necessary. Additionally, some states require all pool cleaners to complete a CPO course. Although Kansas is not one of these states, we will still pay for all of our employees to go through this course so that they might be adequately prepared to service the pools of our customers. Our net profit increases from about $5,300 in 2025 to nearly $20,000 in 2027. At 15 years old, I never thought I would have an opportunity like this one to bring my dreams to reality. Thank you to everyone in attendance for allowing me to share my business with you.
How many remember having a memory like that? I don't even remember if I put shoes on and you just spit that whole thing out. Congratulations, great job. Yeah, that's awesome. Now's the time for the question portion for the panelists over here. So if any of you guys would have any questions for this gentleman, that'd be great.
Marshall saltwater pools, does it make any difference? People go that direction versus a traditional pool?
It does, yes. Saltwater pools have a different kind of equipment, and the chemical balancing is going to be different because there's salt in the water. So we are going to specialize in freshwater pools, and the CPO course will teach me how to handle those saltwater pools, but currently we plan to just do freshwater.
Could you explain your pricing? Is it tier 1 for $20?
Yeah, so that pricing is per week. So for tier 1, it'll be $20 per week, and we'll come every day and skim every day. We're hoping that that is going to be on the lower side since we're consistently doing that and getting those things out so they won't have time to build up.
So your wages are going to be $10 an hour, $12 an hour?
So we have made our wages out to be half of what our employees bring in. So for example, if there was a be servicing a tier 3 pool, then they would make $40 from that tier 3 pool since the total cost of that service is $80.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Well, whether you win tonight, I have a pool. You and I probably should talk. I don't know what tier, you have to create a tier 4 for me. I don't know if I have to do that. Great job. Okay, next we're going to bypass here a little bit. I'm going to have Jordan come up and speak about his winnings, Kansas Physical Therapy Partners. So Jordan, I believe you were a winner, is that correct? Yeah, so give a nice round of applause for Jordan.
So I'm Jordan Zuccarelli. I opened Kansas Physical Therapy Partners in November of 2021. We participated and won the Charlie Walker Pitch Challenge in March of 2023, which was the year that Todd tried to burn down Kansas Wesleyan. Because we survived that night, we were able to use our winnings to buy 5 pieces of equipment for the clinic that other clinics in Salina don't have. So patients are able to come to our clinic and use these different pieces of equipment to monitor progress and to continue building strength in ways they just can't do at other places. I honestly believe that the equipment that we have has allowed us to help other patients that would not have recovered had they not had access to it. And all of that is directly because of the Charlie Walker Pitch Challenge. We set our projection goals and all of those things like all the rest of the participants had to do. And in preparing for this, I went back and looked at all of those goals, and happy to say that we've surpassed all of them. We've grown from 3 providers in 2023 when we participated to now 6 providers today, and we're bringing on our 7th provider this summer. So if all goes according to plan, we'll actually beat our 2025 projections by 50%, which is pretty darn good in my book. So, one of the greatest parts of being involved in the Charlie Walker Pitch Challenge was becoming a part of this community of participants. So we've gone to, we use yoga mats in the clinic that are sold by a participant from 2023. We've gone to the selfie station, we've eaten at their restaurants, we share patients with Revive Integrative Health. We're sponsors of one of the buildings at the Joyful Noise Playhouse where my oldest son got his first job. It is a great community to be a part of. And so to all of you participants tonight, regardless of how it turns out, please lean on us, ask us questions, collaborate with us, and good luck.
Thank you. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I mean, that piece in there, that you're supporting the people that you see in here to get that done.
Oh, wait, there's a bar? Is that what this is? Okay, sign us up.
What's that? Oh, yeah, that's
the bar.
It's a bar. This is a big bar. All right, so our next participant is Shelley Arnold, and she's getting ready to get all set up. All right, let's give her a warm welcome to Shelley Arnold with Studio A Custom Designs.
Can you engrave a small rock with my dog's name on it? Could you engrave a whiskey or make a whiskey dispenser like this? Would you be able to engrave spoons for my dad's memorial service? These are all just a few of the requests I've received from my customers and friends, And honestly, they've made me second guess myself. But my response is always, you know what? Let me see what I can do. And I love that. It's part of the magic of being a maker, taking your dreams and turning them into reality. Hi, I'm Shelley Arnold, and I'm the proud owner of Studio A Custom Designs, a laser engraving business. I started this journey in October 2023 with the arrival of my 2 lasers. And I couldn't be more excited about what the future holds. I'm a Salina native, and I'm so thankful for the support of the Salina community. There's something special about creating something unique for people you know and the people who are all around you. When I'm not working on laser projects, I work full-time as a registered occupational therapist with USD-305, Central Kansas Cooperative in Education, working with students with special needs. I also work part-time for 2 local home health agencies. Life can be a little crazy, but I wouldn't have it any other way. While I love having a lot on my plate, Studio A is truly a passion project that brings me so much joy. What I love most about Studio A is that it's not just me, it's my family and my community. My husband, who's always there to support me, even when he thinks some of my ideas are crazy. It's my daughters, who help me with design advice, give me their honest feedback, and even lend a hand with technology. It's my parents and sister, who are crucial to helping me out when I've got big orders to fill. It's also my extended family, friends, and customers who support me and share my passion for what I do. I wouldn't be standing out here today without all of their support. At Studio A, our mission is straightforward but meaningful: to deliver unique, customized laser engraved products to our clients for personal and corporate gifts, promotional items, awards, and signage, while creating pieces that bring our customers joy. To me, the best part of the job is seeing my customers' reactions when they get their hands on their custom pieces. This kiddo is the daughter of one of my customers. She was so excited to get her 87 earrings. You can see them. She loves her Travis Kelce. That joy, whether it's from receiving a unique gift or giving one, is at the heart of what we do. I want that to be Studio A's legacy, to bring joy to others. Currently with Studio A, we will offer a wide range of services, including CO2 laser engraving on materials such as wood, acrylic, leather, glass, and tumblers. We also specialize in fiber laser engraving on metals, soft stone, and granite. Our products include personalized gifts, home decor, educational tools, corporate branding, signage, memorials, jewelry, and more. Whatever your vision, we're here to bring it to life. Looking ahead, we're excited to expand our capabilities with UV laser engraving. This would allow us to work with an even broader range of materials, such as coated metals, plastics, deep wood trays, and fine details on glass and acrylics, giving us more precision and creativity. This expansion is especially important, which is why we're seeking to secure funding from the Charlie Walker Pitch Challenge. The funds from the challenge would be directed towards purchasing a UV laser, enabling us to offer even more diverse options to our customers. I would be able to engrave a deep wood tray like this with the UV laser, which I'm not able to do with a CO2 laser because the beam would be too far away. And also, I would be able to have better precision. This is one I did on glass I did on my laser, that this is one I purchased that was UV laser, and the precision is just so much better. Our goal is to support the local economy and become Salina's go-to for all laser engraving needs, much like Etsy. However, if we're unable to fill customer orders with the products they want, we won't be able to meet the needs of our community. As for our business, we've had the privilege of working with several local Salina businesses, providing customized products for corporate branding and gifts. The opportunity to serve our local community has been one of the most rewarding aspects of my journey. And that's just the beginning. We're committed to continuing our relationships with local businesses and organizations, offering even more options in the future. We're hoping to do more pop-up events and shows this year, so look out for us at some local boutiques and markets. We're currently marketing our business through social media and word of mouth. It's been amazing to have so many return customers who trust us with their unique projects. Their loyalty and feedback are a testament to the quality of the products we create. Without them, Studio A wouldn't be where it is today. As you can see, the possibilities are endless with personalized gifts, back to school and educational items, home decor, jewelry, memorials, and whatever you can imagine. The future is bright, and I am incredibly grateful for the opportunity to be a part of the Charlie Walker Vintage Challenge. I'm excited about what's ahead, not just for Studio A, but for the entire Salina community. Thank you for your time today. So what can I make for you?
Judges, congratulations, great job. I was disappointed I didn't see the product you made for me out there, though. That would have given you extra points for me.
I didn't.
Oh, yes, we want to advertise 18, yes. Next time, okay, good deal. Okay, any questions for her?
The laser that I want, with shipping and with the rotary that I need with it, yeah, $10,300.
Shelley, what do you see as the increase in business that you would see with that new laser? What kind of financial boost would that be for you?
Well, I initially was aiming for my first year and then business for a year now. My first year goal was 12,000. I exceeded that by a little over 17,000. My sales were over 17,000. So I would hope to go over like 20% more every year, just increase.
Any other questions? Another round of applause, great job. Okay, while we're waiting for the next one, my short story, and we'll wait for Katie to come out here, is how many of you guys ever been to, see which one I want to tell next? How about Sacred Heart High School? Have anybody attended Sacred Heart High School ever? They put on a large auction once a year, a huge auction, and my wife and I was maybe 20, well, we probably got married, so I want to say I was 20, 21 years old, and we would volunteer to bring people drinks and popcorn. And you always wanted Charlie Walker's table because whoever gave you the most tips, you won a prize that was given to you by Sacred Heart. So we always wanted those, and every time you would bring in a tub of popcorn, he would hand you $100. And you were like, sometimes you would take the popcorn from his table when he wasn't looking, so you had to bring him more popcorn. And so he was just always one of those guys that was giving. And Sacred Heart was a big part of what he would give to. And so I can always remember him. And also, at the end of the auction, they would give away a trip. And they wouldn't give it away, they would auction. And this trip would always be $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. And Charlie would bid on that trip. And every time he won it, he would reach in his pocket, his leather jacket, and he would pull out a name and he would hand it, and they always knew to come get it. And they would go up there and he would give the trip to a teacher every year who was at Sacred Heart. And so I probably watched him do that for 10 years. And he always gave away the trip to the teacher of the year that was given. And I'm not sure who selected that, but again, as I was growing up, to watch that kind of giving is just, it always will stick with me on the type of guy that Charlie Walker is. So no matter if you're an entrepreneur or you have a business, it's not about the end game, how much money you have, it's what you did along the journey, so that maybe somebody can stand up in front of a crowd like this. You know, I think of you, I really do. Like somebody could stand up years later and say, this is what Jordan did for the community, and it all started here at that process. And I think you nailed ways to support the community and give back. And that's way more important than how much money is in your checking account. It's the journey, it's not the end game. So anyway, just want to leave you with that a little bit to prepare for the next one. So we have, am I saying that right? Is that what you say your first name?
Luis.
Luis. I was introduced you as Katie, and I knew that wasn't going to be right. She's the next one. Luis and Super Scooper of Salina. You're up. Give them a nice round of applause.
Thank you. Like he said, my name is Luis Ferranis. I've owned Super Scooters for about a year now. And what we offer is pet waste removal. And in the near future, we'd like to offer yard sanitation and deodorizing. A little bit about myself. My parents own a business here in Salina. And so because of that, I kind of was raised around entrepreneurs and the environment of entrepreneurship. And so because of that, I learned how to, what it takes to start a business, what the needs are to run a business, and how to have a good relationship with your customers. Now, enough about me. Let's look at some reasons why you may call Super Scooters. Well, number one, you may get busy. Life gets busy sometimes, and you have work, you have kids, you may be in school, so you can't even begin to think about your yard. Or number two, something unexpected may happen. Life throws us some curveballs sometimes, and so again, you may get so wrapped up in what happened that you can't again think about your yard. Or you may be an older one, someone who can't physically do the things that they used to be able to do. And so because of that, you can't go into your yard every day or every week and do your own yard. We spoke with pet waste removal companies in Manhattan that have not only been able to make a living off of pet waste removal, but they were also able to franchise. They franchised to Topeka and to Wichita. So there is a need for pet waste removal in the area. And here in Salina, we got very fortunate. There was no one else really doing pet waste removal. So because of that, we had that privilege of easing our way into the community without any competition. Now we talked about some reasons why you may call us, but let's look at our solution. You call us today, we schedule your yard. It's very affordable. You don't have to be rich to have our services. When we come in, remove your pet waste, and it's just one less thing you have to worry about. Our go-to-market strategy. We started with Facebook ads. We started posting on the Salina post just to let everyone know that there is somebody in this community who is offering pet waste removal. We also left cards at vet clinics in the area, just because everyone's already going to vet clinics thinking about their dogs, so it's just one more thing to worry to think about. And then friends and family. Many of you know my parents, Bobby and Steve Ferranis, because they've been in University-Salina, or because they've been in the Salina Area Chamber of Commerce. So because of that, there is a big community here in the area that is willing to support a small business like myself. And then we also offer referral rewards, just to encourage our customers to use word of mouth, because word of mouth is very effective. We also want to build a professional website, just so ones can come to the website at their own convenient time and schedule us and learn about us at their own convenient time. Also, we want to be the first ones to pop up when they search our pet waste removal near needs. So Google listings really helps with that. And then we also want to wrap a vehicle for exposure. We have this little truck that we want to wrap just, when we're running errands, go to Dillon's and Walmart, they can see us, and this is extra advertising for our business. And then also we want to do postcards, mailing, just because some people may not be able to go out every day or may not have Facebook, so we just want to let everyone know in the area that there is a business opportunity. Why we're here, what we need. Well, like I said earlier, we want to do yard sanitation and deodorizing. And in order to do that, we need a skid sprayer and then starter chemical just to get us through our first year. And then we want 1 year house call pro just to help us with that extra organization and help us with our expenses. And then, like I said earlier, a vehicle wrap just to get that extra exposure. And then also a website design and posting. We found a company that specifically does pet waste removal companies. And then also food pails. We want reliable and durable equipment that will get us through those harsh winter months. And then shirts, business cards, and other swag, just so when somebody looks out into their backyard, they don't wonder, who's in my backyard. You may be wondering, why this business? Well, like I said earlier, we talked with others in the industry that have phenomenal growth, and they give business really good advice on how to run a business, how to reasonably charge your customers. And then we're a year-round business. We don't start in spring and end in fall. We go through winter. And obviously this winter we had to adjust because of all the snow, but we still got those jobs done. And then also we love helping our neighbors here in Salina. Many of you know my parents come from Team Salina. So because of that, I had that help. I had that privilege of helping others, neighbors in the area to feel cleaner. This is just another way of me helping them. Our future goals, like I said, we want to do yard sanitation deodorizing by maybe this summer. And then also, I can do probably about 80 jobs a week. And I would like to double that, even triple that by the next 2 years. And then 5+ years, I would like to franchise the business to help other communities feel cleaner and have that cleaner environment. Thank you for this opportunity.
Over here in front of the judges, they're gonna work on, they've got a bunch of forms to fill out, so it's not like they're not interested in you, they're filling out a bunch of stuff, and then they may have some questions, so. Any questions anybody would have over there?
Tell me about yard sanitation and odor. You know it, I don't. Tell me about that.
So what we will do is we will have this machine on the back of our truck. We'll start it up, and then you'll bring a hose through the backyard, through the gate, through the garage, however we can access the yard. And then we'll just spray over the yard, and it'll make it smell cleaner, and it'll sanitize it. Maybe if you have children, it'll be helpful in that area.
Nice. Any other questions?
Maybe you said this, but how much is it to have your yard?
We charge by the dog, so one dog will be $21. 2 dogs will be $24, and this is weekly. 3 dogs will be $27, and 4 dogs will be $30.
So mostly weekly.
What do you do with the poo?
Well, we put it in a bucket, and then what we do is we put it in a bucket with a trash bag, and we just put it in our customers' trash bags.
Any other questions? I think maybe a business merger. Oh, you got another question? No.
How many customers do you currently have?
We have about 20 customers.
So the business merger I was going to say is the Zuccarelli kid. If I had a pool and a dog, you could get a deal, as I'm saying. You could like sweep my pool, pick up poo, all in the same visit. Don't have to do that. There's like a little merger coming. You guys better talk. I can see that happening. Put your hands together. Okay. Next we have you guys ever just met somebody, you just go, man, that person's a rock star? This happened for me when I watched this presentation happen a year ago. Did you join it last year? Last year. Saw it, and man, she's a rock star. She's going to do great things. She owns the company called The Refillery. Her name is Morgan. Please welcome her to the stage and listen to her story.
Do I need a microphone? I'm sorry, it's fine now. Do I need it? Okay. I'm Morgan. Yes, I was so blessed to win last year at the Shirley Walker Fish Challenge. You might remember me because they quoted me using a story in the newspaper. That was a really good start to my marketing for my own business. Also cried. So it'll get you really far, guys. Don't hold back. No, but the Refillery is a sustainable soap refill store and like eco-friendly home products. So the concept is super approachable and accessible for all. We want you to come in, bring your container or buy a forever bottle from us and refill all of your common products that you use in the home. And every single product is made with no harsh chemicals, no dyes, no fragrance, no scents at all in most of our core products. And the idea is that you can make one small action every day for a more eco-friendly, environmentally sustainable world, live, life, culture, things that we love. And so I am just really lucky. With last year with the funds, I was kind of up and was like, I'm doing this. This is my dream, and whatever I when or not when, I'm going to take that experience and I'm going to make this happen. And so with the earnings, I was able to start in the farmer's market. So I bought everything that I needed for my product, my booth, my insurance, all of that stuff to really start and start marketing my business and selling to customers. So in addition to not just popping up at the farmer's market downtown through May and October, I also do delivery services every Monday night, Wednesday night, and Saturday afternoons, sometimes on occasion. And I'm able to go and meet lots of people, refill all over town, and provide another tangible, eco-friendly practice in our city. So I love doing that. And if I also look familiar, it says I probably serve you coffee in the morning. So I also get to run 1858 Coffee House, which is awesome. So I love running businesses and doing too many things. So we can chat about that anytime.
So I'm not only the MC, the reason I do this is because I hire people who I see up here and I'm like, okay, they'd be a great employee. So you think I'm doing this for free? I'm just looking for new staff. Okay, our next one, we got 2 left. And this one, let's see if she's ready to go. Any props or anything you need? You got your mic all set? You need, yeah, I can hear you. All right, so next up, give a warm welcome to Katie Vincent from To the Table.
So, in a recent survey, 56% of respondents said they dine at a restaurant, get takeout, or have a meal delivered 2 to 3 times a week. 10% said they eat out 4 to 6 times a week, and 6% said they eat out every day. It appears there are a lot of people looking for others to prepare their food. In 2023 survey, 74% said they eat out because they don't feel like cooking, while 51% said they eat out because it's convenient. I came to the idea for To the Table because of my love of cooking and feeding people. And it's just that, feeding people, that has been my life's work, as well as teaching people how to prepare food. A meal prep service is offered prepared meals for busy individuals, families, and organizations. We offer a weekly selection of 6 individual meals and 3 family-style items of soup, salad, and entree. Meals are made with fresh, never processed ingredients, and we have transparent pricing and no membership requirements. We'll share more details later. We are a family-run, limited liability corporation. Myself, Katie Benson, I have 46 years in the food service industry that has been comprised of being a caterer, a waiter, a chef, a manager, and a culinary arts teacher.
Hi, I'm Abigail Benson, I'm Katie's daughter. I have 10 years experience in the restaurant industry, including restaurant management. The last 7 years I've spent on and off working in bookkeeping, and I went to K-State for communications. So I've been on helping her get social media and bookkeeping taken care of.
Okay, the prepared meal market had size was about $166.62 billion in 2023, with a projection of double growth by 2032. Demand is driven by convenience, busy lifestyles, and health awareness.
Which makes our target demographic traveling professionals on per diem, dual income families, and families with a combined income of more than $80,000.
In 2023, Saline County had a population of 54,303 people, with a median household income for families just above $85,000. The married households had a median income of just over $90,000.
With projected growth of 13% by 2072, industry in Salina is expected to continue to rapidly rise. With that being said, it appears there's an open market for meal prep here in Salina. However, with every industry, there are drawbacks. So we asked ourselves, what exactly are the main customer complaints in the meal prep industry?
What we found were the biggest concerns were high cost, bland food, limited variety, poor quality ingredients, delivery delays, and customer service. We plan to have a streamlined costing of one cost for the price per meal, regardless of whether it's chicken or shrimp. We have a wide variety of flavors that were carefully selected to represent multiple cultures. I handpicked all items when possible through local sources. The customer chooses their pickup time, so it's always convenient for them. And we aim to be highly accessible, making ourselves available through phone, email, social media, and direct contact for drop-in and pickup.
The prepared meal market is projected to grow at a compound annual growth rate of 15.3%. As we grow, we look to expand in a variety of ways, including
Delivery services, large event carryout, reusable packaging, summertime noon meals for kids, and special dietary menus.
including paleo, vegan, vegetarian, keto, celiac, diabetic, all of it.
Tell you a little bit more about the food. We offer 6 individual complete meals, each with a protein, starch, and vegetable. They need only be heated for 2 to 3 minutes and served. 1 each family-sized soup, salad, and entree, each serving 4. The ingredients are purchased from local vendors whenever possible. There are no processed foods used to prepare the meal. Pricing for all prep meals is the same, and again, there are no membership requirements. Yeah.
To the Table operates out of the shared kitchen inside the temple. We're in kitchen from 7 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We return on Tuesday and Friday afternoon to facilitate pickups or into the time the customer denotes when ordering. We cook on Monday and Tuesday with packaging on Tuesday and Friday. This way we can ensure that there's no more than 1 day old food we get into the customers, which occurs again, like I said, on Tuesday and Friday. In the future, we do hope to offer delivery for more convenience. Funding needs. Our plan is to invest in a media blast through Facebook, and Instagram, purchasing ad space whenever possible, posting 2 to 3 times per week for 6 months to increase subscribers by 300%. Additionally, we would expand our grassroots campaign through local businesses, reaching out to potential customers such as the Human Resources Department, Salina Regional, Great Plains, Schmann's, variety of the real estate firms, Camp, One Vision, Coperion, etc. All as potential customers offer referrals through the grassroots campaign.
So as we said, we plan to reach our market through the grassroots campaign, social media campaign, establish a more robust email list, as well as participating in community events such as Feast on the Bay or the Farmers Market. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll get up and close with the judges. All right, any questions that you have for them? Yeah.
Okay, so I'll pass up. My sister and I ordered food earlier this afternoon.
That's why those names.
We're very excited for Tuesday. Do you include the sales tax in your price?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we take on that.
Okay, very good. I was just making sure.
No, you owe $1.67.
I really do.
You show up to the
I don't like to talk to buyers.
Who's your local competition? I know there's a lot of companies worldwide.
Locally, we haven't, but international, nationally, we do. Factor is probably the biggest one that you've heard of. Home Chef is another one that's doing prepared meals, not just meal kits. What's that? No, nothing like that. Not yet. Trying to encourage that.
The closest would be when Kristen cooks your meal for you at night. Okay, any other questions for them?
You tag farmers market on the end of your places where you can really grow. Have you had the opportunity to do anything like that currently in your business? How long have you been doing it?
We just started in January.
Awesome, great, thank you.
Love it. Put a nice round of applause. Okay, are we getting close to the last one? Is there Ready to roll? I got a text from my daughter from somebody in the room here who texted her and said that your dad is being very lengthy. Can we move it along? Would anybody like to fess up, or am I going to call you out? Larson? No. Yeah. That's joking. Exactly, yeah, volunteer. There's your speaker for next year right there. All right. We're ready for the next one here. This is our last and final one. And just to remember before he comes on, audience members are invited to visit the booths while they're tallying the final scores. Then we'll fill out the checks, get everything done, and then we'll do a presentation. So we hope you stay around for the presentation. We'll try and get that done quickly so we can get you home in time for whatever it is that you do at 9 o'clock. I should already be at bed, but I say that for you guys. Hold it. Look at this. Yeah, look at that. Did you steal that from the zoo out there? Sorry if you want to hear more stories, blame it on Carson. I'm not telling you anything else. You're not letting anything else? I did have a fun story though, which I'll tell you. I told it last year, and I'll make it a very condensed one. Charlie flew to, this came firsthand from another gentleman by the name of Daryl Hills. Charlie flew to Nebraska, and they were going to buy some land, and there were 3 of them, I believe, in the plane. And Charlie got out and met the guy, and it was probably, the story goes, Daryl told me the guy had to be about 85, 90 years old. And he said, this land has been in my family forever, and I'm going to have to sell the land because we have to pay some taxes and some stuff on some other stuff we have going on. And he goes, I really don't want to sell it because on the other side of that river is all conservation land. And I wanted to donate this for conservation. And that was going to be my legacy, was to have all of this just come up and take conservation. But I need to sell it because I need the money. And after they got done talking for a long time, Daryl told me that they all went back to the car to go back to the airport. And Charlie told them to go ahead. And he stayed back and he talked to the guy. And nobody ever knows what was said because Daryl said he wasn't there. But they got back in the plane and they were flying home. And right before they were landing in Salina, Daryl told me that Charlie turned to him and said, Daryl, you found this. How much money would we have made on this when we buy it and we sell it? And Daryl said, well, I think we could buy it for this. We could cut it up into different pieces, and then we could sell it off, and each one of us would make X amount of money. He said, great. He said, if you guys will stop by my office tomorrow, I'll have checks cut with your names on it for that amount of money. But I bought it from that guy, and we're going to donate it to the conservation land back there because that's what his wishes would be. I can tell, I mean, those stories are the legacy that I was told by Daryl Hills and other people that were around. Morris Stoneberg has stories like this. Jim May's story for Brian Richardson worked for River. And I just kept hearing those stories, and I want that legacy to go on to know that this man was a guy who just, and you have stories, I'm sure, that you hear at the bank all the time. But these are stories that just happen all the time. And I want to share those with you, and that's why I chose to do this in my evening, was to make sure that those stories are never forgotten and they continue to go on throughout the community of what Charlie Walker did for people. So, anyway, I think we're about done. We got the Zoom going over here. You almost ready? right, so White Buffalo Meat Company. This is Andrew White. And very fascinating setup here.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Deep breaths. You ready to roll? Put that up on your side there.
Check in.
Sounds good. All right. Andrew White with White Buffalo Meat Company.
Thank you. All right, hi there. My name is Drew White, and this is my new business idea, White Buffalo Meat Company. Here's a picture of one of our cows and calves. So they're obviously it's a buffalo or a bison, but the females are called cows, and then one of its young calves here we call red dogs. And they carry that coat for about 6 months before they start to turn around. The American buffalo, you'll hear the term used interchangeably with bison. Its scientific name is bison. They're the largest land mammal in North America. The bulls can stand taller than me at 6 foot tall and can weigh over 2,500 pounds. They're also able to run 35 miles an hour, and they are a keystone species, which means they're an essential part of our ecosystem, like the Great Plains that we know and love. They are also recognized as our state of Kansas animal and the national mammal now, joining the ranks with the bald eagle. Here's some common cuts of meat and some facts. So bison meat is naturally leaner with less fat and less cholesterol. It's a great source of protein, essential for building and repairing tissues and supporting your overall health. Rich in iron, with heme iron, which is more easily absorbed, and is also a good source of vitamin B12, selenium, zinc, and phosphorus, as well as iron, vitamin B6, and niacin. It is also rich in omega-3 acids with lower saturated fat. So my key objectives are to develop our clientele, raise awareness of buffalo products, and then seek profitability growth with increasing our retail sales. Retail expansion, we'd like to focus on expanding to online and mail order sales. One of our herd bulls here. There's a rising demand for the market opportunity of buffalo meat. There's a significant local and national demand, with consumers increasingly seeking higher, healthier meat options, which is driving the demand. Kansas suppliers are struggling to keep up with the current demand for buffalo meat, which indicates a strong market that we would like to fulfill at White Buffalo Meat Company. Here's a panoramic shot of our herd there. The growth potential is moderate right now, with expectations for it to continue to grow to substantial, with a prime opportunity for us to expand our market presence. For the business model, I'd like to break up my company into different aspects, with the majority of it being meat, specializing in high-quality, organic, non-GMO buffalo meat, meet the growing demand for the buffalo products. Another division will be treats, for buffalo-based treats for your pets, and those would be crafted with quality ingredients to ensure pet health. Then the third division will be decor, which includes authentic buffalo skulls, as you can see here, the hides, and also mounts. With future plans for merchandise, branded merchandise, such as items for a gift store. Here's the buffalo taking a bath in the summer.
For the operational structure, I would like for all decisions to be made by myself with a clear vision and consistent direction for the company. Down the road, I might try to get some consultants to help me grow my company. And for future family involvement, I would like for my 3 sons to help me with the business as they get older. Here's a picture of our crew out of White Buffalo Ranch. This was after we worked them, which involves getting ear tags and blood work drawn before they're able to be sold. So our customer base, I would like for the majority of it to be local families, catering to health-conscious folks, and providing the naturally raised, organic, grass-fed, non-GMO meat that does promote your health. I would like to be able to provide buffalo meat to local restaurants in the Salina area, and then also expand to the online market with mail-order customers and being able to send out items with styrofoam coolers and dry ice, similar to what Omaha Steaks does, if you guys are familiar with them. Nice Sunset, Kansas picture here. For my mission and vision, we are committed to providing high-quality, sustainable buffalo products that promote your health and well-being. Our sourcing strategy focuses on local ranges, ensuring that our practices support the environment and the community. With a health and nature focus, our mission emphasizes a connection to nature, promoting health through a nutritious buffalo meat and animal treats. We celebrate the beauty of the American West while ensuring our products are naturally raised and organic. Wintertime picture here. For production and operations, I would like to have field harvesting at the ranch and dressing done there, and then the carcasses will be transported to Crable Specialty Meats just north of McPherson, Kansas. The dog treats will be made at the ranch. Skulls and hides will be processed at a business partner, Black Kettle Buffalo, in Mountain Ridge. And all of the products will be stored in commercial refrigerators and freezers at the home office, and this will guarantee optimal freshness and quality before shipping it to our valued customers. Some of the essential equipment that I'll need will be commercial refrigerators and freezers, ensuring that the meat and perishable items are stored at safe temperatures. And we'll need packaging machines for efficient handling of the products and streamlining the process from the production to the delivery. And they'll also need shipping supplies such as dry ice and reusable coolers that are vital for the safe product delivery. Proper packaging materials will guarantee that the products arrive in perfect condition. I have goals to become certified organic, USDA inspected, and it looks like I just hit my time there. Thank you very much.
And if you want to step over here, the judges may have some questions for you. If you want to walk over here real quick. Nice job. Thank you. These are the judges. They may have some questions for you about the presentation. John, you may go.
I think everyone knows that beef prices in Dillon are somewhat outrageous. How are the prices of buffalo going to be compared to that?
Buffalo right now is averaging around $10 a pound for the lowest quality of just ground meat. Just the ground hamburger is roughly $10 a pound right now.
How does that compare to beef?
Beef is it is a little pricier than beef.
Hello. Tell me a little bit about, so the ranch is currently functioning, and this is an extension of what you want to do in addition?
Correct. So, I'm sorry.
No.
So White Buffalo Ranch was founded in 1993 with my parents, Mike and Kathy White, who are here in the audience. And Salina actually has the largest buffalo auction, a consignment auction in the history of the United States right here. And we have, since 1993, have harvested for ourselves, friends, and family. but have never been in the retail aspect of selling the meat. We've only been selling the animals wholesale, usually when they're a year or two old.
And second question, give us a little idea of startup cost to get going. What are you thinking that's going to be? How will this money, if you want to affect that?
The startup cost I'm looking at, I think, will be at a conservative estimate around $10,000.
Thank you.
Any other last questions? Andrew, thank you, sir. Thank you for that on Oh, yes. Nothing like bribing the judges. Buffalo chili for the judges to try. All right, so this concludes all of the participants. Please get up, mingle around, visit the booths, eat some cookies, brownies, anything that's back there. Give us about 10 minutes to kind of put everything together here. We'll sign the checks, and then we'll bring everybody out and we'll give the awards away.
is handing out some big checks.
Can you make sure?
All right, so like I said, we do have scores tabulated and finalized, so now we get to the exciting part. We're going to start with our 5th place winner and work our way up to 1st place. Winners, when your name is announced, you can come on up and we'll get a quick photo of you and our judges. Robin, if you take some photos for us, don't worry, winners, we'll get a quick photo, and then after all the winners have been announced, you'll have some time to stick around and take more photos with friends and families and that kind of stuff. And the cool thing is you get to keep the big checks. So. All right. Like I said, we are going to start with 5th place with an award of $1,000, and that is going to Studio A Custom Design.
Everybody scoot closer. Take a step forward, Take a step forward. You're in the light. There you go. Pretend like you like each other.
All right, one more round of applause. All right, next we have 4th place. They check for $2,000. Familia Toys.
Josh, can you switch to your right a little bit?
I'm sorry.
Perfect.
All right, another round of applause. All right, in 2nd place, a check for $4,000 goes to the Table.
Oh, no, awesome.
Sorry about that.
Everybody look this way for that. Perfect. Good. Thank you.
All right. Our 3rd place winner for a check of $3,000, BHF Beauty Supply. I do have to compliment the outfit. All right. All right, and coming in 1st place for a check of $6,000, M1 Pole Maintenance. Marshall, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you are in April competing at the state YEC competition in Manhattan. So If you get a chance, wish them luck. We all wish you luck in University-Salina for all. All right, I know Mitch has a couple words he wants to say before we go, but we hope you had a great time. Will join us again next year. Thank you to all of our contestants tonight. These were some very close scores. They always are. I want to say thank you to K-State-Salina again for hosting us tonight, and for all of our judges, your hard work. I appreciate you volunteering your time. All of the booths, the Where Are You Now booths, we appreciate you being here as well. If you have not had a chance to stop by, please stop by before you head out. Hand over to Mitch.
Okay, you winners, don't take those checks to the bank, okay? They're not going to cash them, I got to tell you. So come up front, each of you, before you leave, come get a packet. This tells you the information we need, how we're going to get the check to you, all that process. So don't leave without coming and getting one of these from myself or Robin. So congratulations, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight, and we'll see you next year.